Metaverse is basically the recreation of the offline world in the online.
So it's almost like the Matrix in, not in a dystopian sense, but.
And I would argue we're probably the biggest metaverse company on earth.
The hot word in tech these days seems to be metaverse. Is this something that you see us being connected to all the time, very similar to the internet?
Metaverse has been in conception for decades, some might say. For us to build things, create, and it's digital, and it involves everything that's emerging, things like NFTs, cryptocurrency, VR, AR. And if you can kind of imagine a playground that you walk into that's virtual and anything you can kind of imagine comes to life, this is kind of where we start to find ourselves when we think about the metaverse. We seem to have reached this point in the road where all the stuff that has been going on behind the scenes, development dollars invested, the code written, is coming to bear now, and it's time to actually weave these things together cohesively and bring out products from them. So I think the Facebook rebrand is a great indication that the technology went from kind of this nascent, innovative, stealthy almost, what can be staged, to maybe something now where there is some sort of cohesion around what can actually be rolled out in the next year, 3 years. The thing now is you have Facebook, which is a very large multinational organization, one of the largest in the world, rolling it out as a core product feature. And of course, you have all the boats in the figurative bay that are kind of now coming to the same level, perhaps, with Facebook in terms of getting behind this and being able to build as smaller companies products that can bring forth different innovations in this space as well. It seems like not only Facebook, right, as of recent, as a large company, is getting behind this in a big way. Now we hear about Microsoft, and Microsoft's version of this is Teams. It's a fantastic product, and we can start to show people the possibilities through this product that features some of the core aspects of the metaverse avatar and interaction between parties in the virtual worlds that mirror what might happen in the physical world. The thing with Teams and Microsoft and kind of where they're headed is they're kind of thinking of being the plumbing for the metaverse. And they're kind of thinking, hey, maybe it shouldn't be this centralized metaverse that Facebook seems to be rolling out. And Microsoft kind of is going back to their playbook and saying, let's facilitate a lot of different experiences. They don't all have to be owned by one party. If you look at what Facebook put forward as their video with Zuckerberg kind of imagining what the worlds are, it's literally this new world that anything that you can kind of think of that's virtual, everything from NFTs to music, can be put into what looks like a landscape that you might see, in 2 dimensions in a movie. You could physically be in a place, a very specific place in our real world, and that will allow you to teleport to another very specific place in the virtual world, where owning something in the real world would correlate to ownership in the virtual world. Those are 2 examples. Then you could kind of even get a little more creative with that. Every single aspect of the internet, or now the metaverse, is loaded onto computers. So it's almost like the Matrix, and not in a dystopian sense, but there are servers everywhere, and they control the code that creates these realities. It's very important that at the server level, that can't be corrupted. And there's been a big vacuum as of recent with, we have basic level devices communicating with each other. These could be the Nest smoke alarm in your home and, maybe a drone, and they're getting hacked into all the time. So let's secure those. And Beyond Protocol allows for all those to be secure, but the core assets that are behind what's powering the metaverse, the servers themselves. And then one further step, which is amazing, is those experiences that we talked about, those experiences where you have physical going to digital or digital going to physical beyond protocol by allowing secure communication between those servers and then those IoT devices. Those could be, holograms that are digitally constructed, VR, AR devices that help facilitate POS systems. That all can be facilitated securely through beyond protocol, and that before this idea of cross-device communication, where one silo of devices being able to communicate with another, that hasn't been able to be constructed securely to date. So it's a really cool thing, and it fits right into the construct of the metaverse.
As we move more and more closer to the metaverse, you'll want art in your online world. And I think that people already play a lot of video games where they're buying goods and services inside the games, but they can't really take them out of that walled garden universe. Metaverse is basically the recreation of the offline world in the online setting. A good example of the metaverse would be Fortnite, where kids basically sign in, or even adults really. People have signed in, and they even have held electronic music concerts. Marshmello hosted a concert in Fortnite. People signed in to go see him play in this virtual world, not in an offline setting or a concert venue. And so that's sort of one example of a metaverse, but it is a closed world currently. And we think in the future, those worlds open up.
Strauss Zelnick, Chairman and CEO of Take-Two Interactive. Strauss, it's great to see you.
Well, what I said during the pandemic was we expected post-pandemic demand to be higher than pre-pandemic and lower than during the pandemic, just because people were sheltering at home. And I think that at first turned out to be true. And now, as we reach what appears to be a new normal, demand is actually higher than during the pandemic in certain instances. So in this quarter, for example, we comped well. We were up 3% year over year, and recurrent consumer spending was up 7%. At least we are doing somewhat better than expected, and we're really pleased about that. And I think that reflects the broader interactive entertainment economy as well.
I mentioned at the top of the phrase metaverse, which now may or may not have been commandeered by Mark Zuckerberg, given that he's changed the whole name of the company to Meta. But you've often talked about how you think that your company may have been one of the first to the metaverse's dance, if you will.
Well, look, it all depends how you define it. If you define metaverse as we are going to transition from a physical environment to a digital one in all of our daily activities, I remain pretty skeptical. If you define metaverse as the new version of Second Life, I'm really skeptical. If, however, you describe metaverse as a digital location that we can go to, be entertained, to connect with other people, to talk, to play, to drive cars, and you have fun along the way, well, we're already in that business. And I would argue we're probably the biggest metaverse company on earth if you look in terms of revenue and profits, because we're in Grand Theft Auto Online, which really I think defines the metaverse today, Red Dead Online, and NBA 2K's online version. So we're already there. We're really excited. And we see at least one expression of what it means to be a metaverse at our company right now. What the future holds remains to be seen. As I said, I'm skeptical that we're going to wake up in the morning and intentionally sit at home, strap on headsets, and conduct all of our daily activities that way. We had to do that during the pandemic, and we didn't really like it so much.